Corn, potatoes, apples, soybeans. About 80% of the food in America's grocery stores is known to be produced with GMOs, according to the University of California Division of Agriculture and Natural Resources. A new report from a leading science organization finds this process of modifying foods is generally safe for humans and the environment. The National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine concluded that tinkering with genetics of what we eat, adding a gene from another species, doesn't have any negative effects on human health.
GMOs are different from traditionally bred crops in that you're inserting specific genes to do specific things. So in some sense, it's just a very specific type of breeding. We've been breeding and changing crop plants for literally thousands of years. So what's different with GMOs is the techniques we're using to insert novel genes.
The report is more than 400 pages and took 2 years to produce. It includes reviews by 20 experts from more than 900 studies. It also received more than 700 public comments. The conclusion? There's no substantiated evidence that foods from GE crops are less safe than foods from non-GE crops, and that instead of focusing on the nuts and bolts of how food is raised, regulators need to focus more on the safety of the end products. The agricultural community has known this for years.
Farmers have been producing GMO crops since the early 1990s. They've been doing it safely and getting them to the market and allowing families to consume them on their dinner table. There have been over 2,500 studies that have been scientifically based that have proven this, and this is just another study to highlight the importance of GMOs and also the safety to reassure consumers that they can be confident in their food supply.
The goal of the study was to help consumers make educated decisions. The work was done to provide an independent, objective study. Here are some of the highlights. There is no evidence of large-scale health effects on consumers who eat GMO foods. These crops can actually benefit humans more than non-GMOs because of their increase in vitamins, such as vitamin A. Crop losses are lower and insect populations are largely ineffective in areas where GMOs are farmed.
GMOs are really an integral part of meeting agriculture's goal to feed over 9 billion people by the year 2050. We have to almost double food production, and we have to do that in a way that's environmentally sensitive and also produces food so it can be economical for every family.
Soybeans, corn, and cotton are the top crops using GMO seeds. In most cases, genetic engineering has made them resistant to certain herbicides and insects. This means farmers can use less crop protectants on their fields. Every day, plant scientists are working to find new ways to improve growing methods with GMOs.
We hear a lot now about climate change, so we might be able to impart specific genes into plants to better tolerate things like drought stress, salt stress, things like that, that could be really important in the future because the human population is growing at a very rapid rate. And the more people you have to feed, the more food you have to produce.
The scientific report was funded by the Burroughs Wellcome Fund, the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation, the New Venture Fund, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine.